until it's time to go to bed.
It kind of sounds like a mental rehab almost. Like if you were addicted to cocaine or alcohol.
That makes sense too.
I mean, like you have to follow rules. You have to do certain things at certain times. Like in the gameplay of this game, like if I got to go to group, what are your options? Like if I'm playing the game and I'm first person, I'm sitting down in a chair, and I'm surrounded by 8 other people or 9, however many people. Like, what is that gameplay going to be like? I mean, have you gotten that far, or is that why you're going to Kickstarter and you're looking for funding so you can spend the time to figure out the storyline, or have you already figured it out?
I have a lot of notes on story. It's by no means finished yet, but when in group, you basically, it would just be choosing dialogue options, and that wouldn't be the core part of the gameplay. I definitely want to code in things like if you choose not to do something, you're forced into a padded room, and I have lots of ideas of transitioning the character out of the padded room into a scene that they're not really in technically, because you don't really want to just be in a padded room for an hour.
Right.
So that's definitely, I've put a lot of thought into it. I haven't actually implemented a lot of those things yet, but
the concept of the game, Isaac, is it is fantastic. I have to be completely honest with you. I am looking forward to this game getting funded.
And I want to work on this full time for the 2 years that I plan on developing it. So it's not like it's the cheapest thing to make happen. But
absolutely not, man. I'm talking to Isaac Becoming. You can go to Kickstarter.com, search for Becoming. It's an interesting game about mental health. And the concept of going to sleep at night and having a dream and getting sent back in time is just an amazing concept that I have not seen in a video game. And I'm a gamer. But you don't have to pay $5,000 for voice acting. I've got plenty of friends over here that want to do voice acting for this game. So just keep that in mind moving forward.
Awesome.
It is great. A great concept. Go to Kickstarter.com. Becoming is the name of the video game. It's a first person. I would say, is it kind of like a sim, kind of like like The Sims almost, except in first person instead of like aerial view? You get up, you get dressed.
Say that.
Okay.
The games I pull from are Dear Esther, Stanley Parable, Gone Home, Antechamber, stuff like that. Okay,
but I mean, you're still like when the main character goes into group, like you have choices. It's like a choose your own adventure book, except it's in a video game.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. I love it. I want you to. You can make this game, man. I want the first copy. Is that okay?
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we got to take a break real quick. Thank you guys for listening to the Bill and Joe Show. Isaac from Becoming, go to Kickstarter.com, search for Becoming, pledge some money. He's got a whole from $5 to infinity dollars. You can fund the game yourself if you want. Go to Kickstarter.com, search for Becoming. Isaac, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
We will be right back after this. Thank you guys for listening to the Bill and Joe Show. Hey guys, I want to talk about Uber. We talked about it earlier in the show. Quit taking taxi cabs. The coolest thing about Uber is that a professional driver, somebody in their own car that they take care of, doesn't smell like puke, doesn't have that cab smell. It's somebody's car. And the coolest thing about Uber, at least a couple of times that I've used it, is that they always seem to have like a cold bottle of water or a charger for your phone. The amenities that come along with Uber are fantastic, and it's revolutionizing the way that we travel. So make sure, download the app. It's UBER, and get an Uber driver. It'll change the way that you travel. Guys, we have a new app for you. It's called Clamor, Clammr. Basically what it does is it takes 18 seconds of audio. So you can, we're on Clamor under the William Barron Show. We haven't changed it over to the Bill and Joe Show yet, but we're on Clamor, and what we basically do is we tag 18 seconds of an episode to give somebody a taste of what our show does. And then they can click over to the link and they can listen to the whole entire episode. It's fantastic. It's better than Twitter. It's better than Facebook. It's awesome. It's an audio device, and if you download the app, you can check it out, and I promise you will not be disappointed. That's Clamor, Clammr. And welcome back to the Bill and Joe Show. It is just Bill tonight. Welcome. I wanted to bring up Seattle. This is interesting. This is in the news. They bumped their minimum wage up to $15 an hour, which is, you would imagine, is pretty awesome. I don't even know the minimum wage in Illinois. I think it's $10. But anyway, Seattle and a couple other states, they bumped it up to 15 in hopes of stimulating the economy, giving people with lower income a better chance to secure loans, to be able to pump that money back into the local economy. Well, it's ending up, I guess I should say, backfiring on Seattle, because the whole idea was to give them more money so that they can get off of public aid. But now the employees, instead of doing that, instead of working, their regular 40 hours or 30 hours or whatever they were doing at $10 an hour or $8 or whatever it was, they're actually requesting that they get less hours. So now they only want to work like 10 hours a week, because if they work too much, then their public aid goes away. So Seattle's kind of eating the dick on that one. And a lot of other states are starting to realize that, just giving them more on minimum wage to help them get off of public aid is actually backfiring on the whole idea. I don't know why, but I don't know. I guess it surprises me a little bit. I expected, if somebody's going to give you more money, that you would want to work, that you would want to get off of the aid. But apparently a lot of people like getting stuff for nothing. So that is what they are doing. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that Seattle, and I've never been to Seattle. I've always wanted to be in Seattle. My younger brother, he lived there for, I think, about a year, and he loved it. He thought it was great. I mean, even with the rain and everything, he's like, it's just gorgeous up there. So, and I've got a good friend of mine, Isaiah, who is just a Seattle, Oregon, I know it's Seattle, Washington, but he's a Seattle Seahawks fan who have the craziest fans I've ever seen. I'll never forget. It was like last year. It was on one of the playoff games. It wasn't the Super Bowl, not the New England year where they should have handed it off to Marshawn Lynch. But the year before that, when they won the Super Bowl, I saw this guy that was dressed up like he was like green, and he had spray tan like abs. I mean, the guy was crazy, insane looking. Seattle fans do not play. So, Seattle's got that going on. So if you're thinking about moving there, but more importantly, I guess not more importantly, but I did want to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. I saw her ESPY award for the Arthur Ashe Award of Courage, and I just felt like I had to weigh in because, I knew it was happening. I had something that I had to go do that night that the ESPYs were on, and I had reminded myself all day, don't forget to DVR the goddamn ESPYs. Don't forget to DVR the dad. And I, of course, forgot. So halfway through whatever I was doing, and I couldn't even tell you what it was, but it dawned on me. I was like, fuck, I forgot to DVR the ESPYs. Shit. That was the only thing I wanted to see. I watched the red carpet crap. By the way, J.J. Watt is a douche. I do not like that guy. I mean, he's a supreme talent on the football field, but him as a person, I just do not like him. I don't know what it is. I do not like him. And so I'm sitting there and doing whatever. I can't remember what the hell I was doing, but I was like, fuck, I really wanted to see that Caitlyn Jenner thing. It's amazing to me. It really is. Like, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, I saw it on a tabloid magazine. I was going to a grocery store, and I came home and I told Danielle that Bruce Jenner's turning into a woman. He's transgendering. And she's like, shut up. And then we did some research online, and it was just some shitty, no credential magazine, and, we didn't think anything of it. We were just like, oh, so it's just they're just trying to run Bruce Jenner through the dirt. And if anybody who watches The Soup on the E! Network, like they do a good enough job tearing that guy apart. It's hilarious. He's easy. He's an easy target. Or at least he was. And so, like, I get home from doing whatever the fuck I was doing. And, of course, I should have known that ESPN was going to have the entire speech on there, so I didn't really need to DVR anything. You don't need to DVR anything anymore. You YouTube it, or... Actually, I tried doing that, and MTV must have had, scouts on the scene, on the YouTube.com scene, like, being like, nope, take it down, because the only place they could find it was on ESPN.com, which, is fair. But listening to his speech and seeing him do that, now, I could argue easily that he has an agenda. Everybody's got to be relevant. Once you get a taste of, stardom, I would imagine, because I've never done this. My daughter asked me, she was like, Daddy, were you ever on the radio? And I was like, yes, honey, I was. Locally here. But yeah, honey, I was on the radio. Did you ever sign autographs? I was like, I've signed autographs before, stupidly, yes. Yeah. People have asked for my autograph. I know. It was back when I was in a band with Joe. I'll never forget this one night, and we were playing a talent show that we were told we couldn't play, but we played it anyway. And then me and Joe got off stage, and we went kind of like around the back and into the hallway where all the lockers were of this high school. And there were probably like 4 or 5, 6 girls that were just like waiting. They had their own Inhale t-shirts, their homemade like white t-shirts with, like lettering written on it. And they wanted our autograph. That's not the only autograph I've signed. There was another time when we were playing the beer garden in Smash Mouth. We were kind of opening for Smash Mouth, I guess you could say. And this little kid, like he kept standing in front of the stage and just in awe. Like, I think it was the first time that he ever saw somebody play live or whatever, and his parents were really cool. And I was drunk. I mean, me and Joe, I think that night we were drinking Jack, and yeah, it didn't go well. We tried singing Iris. It was Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. For anybody who has tried singing that song, like, we had rehearsed the song, and I had sung it an octave lower during rehearsal because I wanted to save my vocal cords for it. So we practiced. This is a big gig for us. This is a big show. And so I saved my, quote unquote, saved my vocal cords for the night of the show. And I go for it. And it sounded like an eighth grade boy standing up in class trying to read from a science book. Like, it was awful. Never been more mortified in my life. But this little boy in the front of the stage, he couldn't get enough. He asked me for an autograph. His mom and dad were just like, here, yeah. It was great. Like, signing an autograph. For anybody who has not been asked to sign an autograph, I recommend you find